Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Tracie Reynolds. And this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll tell you when to be on the lookout for planes overhead and what plans are in store for the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. And making headlines around the county, in 1 month we will all be recognizing the 10th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks. And Anne Arundel County will be holding a special ceremony to mark the time the first plane hit the World Trade Center. This week, in anticipation of the event, construction crews will be working at Fire and Police Headquarters in Millersville to put finishing touches on a memorial for people to pay their respects to those who lost their lives in the tragedy. The memorial features 2 steel beams from the World Trade Center site, and thanks to donations of more than $40,000 by citizens, organizers will be adding benches, plaques, landscaping, lighting, and inscribed bricks to the memorial. The ceremony marking the exact time and date of the attack will take place at the memorial on Sunday, September 11th at 8:30 a.m. The public is invited to attend and to take a look at the completed memorial, as well as a full program that will feature remarks by keynote speakers and performances by the Annapolis Chorale. County Executive Leopold said of the event, "We have witnessed a huge outpouring of support for this memorial, and we look forward to a fitting tribute to our first responders as we remember a day that will forever live in infamy. We must never forget what happened." The memorial is located at 8595 Veterans Highway in Millersville, and for more information you can call 410-222-1288. And our memorial has already become a landmark as groups are starting to visit it on national or nationwide tours, and Division Chief Michael Cox is here to talk about a bus tour that made its stop there this week to promote firefighters and pay tribute to first responders. He also has information on a construction accident that claimed the life of one worker and seriously injured the other. Chief?
The first incident occurred just before 10 a.m. on Friday, July 29, 2011. When Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported wall collapse at the construction site for the Maryland Live Casino located at the Arundel Mills Mall. First unit to arrive on the scene confirmed the collapse of a 30-foot by 40-foot precast concrete wall weighing approximately 25 tons. The crews also confirmed that 2 people were injured and one of those patients was trapped under the wall. The first patient, a male estimated to be in his 30s, suffered life-threatening injuries as a result of the incident. He was transported to the University of Maryland R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore, Priority 1, via ground ambulance. The second patient, a male estimated to be in his mid to late 20s, suffered fatal injuries as a result of the incident and was pronounced dead at the scene. It was unclear what caused the wall to fall from its upright position or the type of work that was being performed at the time of the collapse. The Maryland Occupational Safety and Health Administration is the lead investigative agency and will be conducting an investigation into the exact cause of the incident. In other news, Anne Arundel County Executive John R. Leopold, Fire Chief John Robert Ray, and County Police Chief Colonel James Tier welcomed some California firefighters to the county's 9/11 memorial in front of County Fire and Police Headquarters on Wednesday, August 3, 2011. The welcoming ceremony was part of a Manhattan to Manhattan bus tour to unite firefighters from the West Coast with firefighters on the East Coast at Ground Zero. The 9-month bus tour has included hundreds of stops at numerous fire departments across the nation to raise an awareness of the 10th anniversary of the 9/11 tragedies, as well as create unity among emergency service personnel and to raise funds for numerous nonprofits through the sale of special 9/11 anniversary patches and decals. The decision to stop in Anne Arundel County on their way to Ground Zero was based on the fact that Anne Arundel County Fire and Police Departments have a 9/11 memorial that was constructed out of steel beams from the World Trade Center site. County Executive John Leopold presented the firefighters with a executive citation, while the County Firefighters Union presented the group with a donation for the nonprofit groups that they are supporting.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, folks, we'll hide the kids for this next story. It's about an adult video store in Pasadena that's in hot water again for operating this time an illegal video arcade. Officials from Inspections and Permits in the Fire Marshal's office conducted an inspection this week at the Lovecraft on Mountain Road in Pasadena. A citizen made a complaint several weeks ago about the business. Investigators confirmed that several coin-operated video booths were present in the back of the store showing pornographic films. Adult video arcades, as they are known, are not allowed in the zone where Lovecraft is currently located. Zoning enforcement has forwarded the case to the Office of Law, which could seek an injunction from a judge to cease the operations. This is not the first time the store has been cited. In 2006, it was cited for the same thing. Back then, the operators removed the video booths. The issue has proven to be a difficult one in the courts because adult material is protected by the First Amendment.
Well, it sounds like the voices of our neighbors have finally been heard. Many, including County Executive John Leopold, recently called for safety improvements to be made along Ritchie Highway in North County. The State Highway Administration announced that it will improve pedestrian safety along Route 2 from the Baltimore line to Route 50 in Annapolis by adding sidewalks, countdown pedestrian signals, and other measures. County Executive Leopold urged the state to incorporate such improvements in capital projects already underway on Ritchie Highway, which is a state road. According to the Maryland Gazette, 8 pedestrians and 1 cyclist have died since January on that road, including 17-year-old Kara Mitchie, who was struck trying to cross the highway leaving the Early Heights Carnival. County Executive Leopold said of the announcement, "Pedestrian safety improvements are long overdue on this stretch of highway. I am pleased that the state is responding to these tragedies." The SHA is currently studying intersections of Ritchie Highway and Early Heights Road to determine if there is a need for a crosswalk.
Well, it's been a tough summer on the water this year as we've had a number of tragic boating deaths on our local waterways. The most recent occurred this week when a Glen Burnie boater drowned in Stony Creek after jumping from a moving powerboat. The body of Charles Ryder, an experienced fisherman, was found after an extensive search by the Department of Natural Resources Police. There was also a collision that weekend of a sailboat and a powerboat near Harness Creek in Annapolis. 2 people were taken to the hospital with injuries from the crash. DNR has advised the following boating safety tips when you're on the water. Do not dive headfirst into the water, especially when you cannot see the bottom. Do not jump into the water from a moving boat. Do not swim or boat alone, and always tell someone where you're going. And of course, wear a life jacket when you're on the water. If you see someone go overboard, do not reach out your hand. Use a pole, line, or rope to pull them to safety. Enter the water to rescue a victim only as a last resort if there is no available object that floats available to throw to the victim. Never swim or operate a boat under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
And there is more Week in Review to come. Take a look at the community calendar for what is happening around the county. Stay with us. We will be right back.
County Executive John Leopold wants to remind all residents that an animal should never be left unattended in a vehicle during the hot summer months. Even on a mild day with the windows cracked, the temperature inside will rise quickly, causing imminent harm or death to pets. If an animal control officer sees an animal left unattended in a vehicle, a criminal citation will be written, and the owner of the vehicle must appear in court and face a potential fine of $500 and 30 days in jail. Don't put your animal in harm's way, even on a mild day. Don't leave any pets unattended in vehicles.
Welcome back. In this week's Police Beat, Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy joins us with information about 2 robberies involving food. One happened at a Wendy's drive-thru and the other happened to a pizza delivery man. Justin.
Thanks, Eric. When officers arrived on scene, they spoke with a male employee who stated that he was working at the cash register at the drive-thru window. That's when a male subject approached that window and asked if he would take his order. The employee then opened the window and the subject ordered food and handed the employee money. Now, once the cash drawer opened, the suspect produced a knife, pointed it at the employee, and demanded money. As the employee backed away from the register, the suspect proceeded to remove the money from the cash drawer and fled on foot in the direction of the Knights Inn and McDonald's. Several officers, a K-9 unit, and the aviation unit responded to search the area, but were unable to locate that suspect. who's being described as a black male about 6 feet tall, 165 pounds, with a muscular build, light complexion, and short hair. He also had a full beard and mustache, was last seen wearing a black shirt with long sleeves, also black pants, and was wearing a black do-rag. We're going to move on now to our second incident. That one took place on August 1st, about 9:27 in the evening. That's when officers responded to the 300 block of Highland Drive at Glen Burnie for a citizen robbery. Once officers arrived on scene, they spoke with a 29-year-old male victim who reported that he was delivering a pizza to the apartment complex. That's when he was confronted by two male suspects who repeatedly punched him and then proceeded to steal his wallet, his keys, and money prior to fleeing the area on foot. Several officers in a K-9 unit canvassed the vicinity for the suspects but were unable to locate them. Those suspects are being described, the first as a black male in his late teens with cornrows, wearing a red t-shirt and beige shorts. Second suspect, a black male in his late teens, last seen wearing a blue shirt. Now, folks, as always, if you have any information on the crimes or suspects we mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to call, email, or text your tip to Metro Crime Stoppers hotline. That number is available 24 hours a day, toll-free at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. Or you can text message MCS plus your message to crimes. That's 274-637. Your third option, visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Remember, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Justin. Please contact the police department if you have any information about either of these crimes.
And there's one thing you can always find somewhere in the county during the summer, and that is a crab feast. In this week's Community Spotlight, Mark Chang features the Glen Burnie Rotary Feast to benefit Baltimore Washington Medical Center. Mark.
Thank you. I'm here over at the Baltimore Washington Medical Center and to talk about the upcoming 40th annual crab feast hosted by the Rotary Club of Glen Burnie, and that's to support the Baltimore Washington Medical Center. And with me today, I have the President and CEO of the Baltimore Washington Medical Center, Mrs. Karen Olskamp, Senator Ed DeGrange, and I also have Kathy McPherson, who's president of the Glen Burnie Rotary Club, and then also a whole group of folks from the Glen Burnie Rotary Club. Say hi, guys. Hi, guys. All right, great. Well, Mrs. Olskamp, wanted to ask you, this is great that the Rotary Club of Glen Burnie is doing this. What are your thoughts on the community involvement in supporting the hospital?
We are so appreciative of the Glen Burnie Rotary Club. They've been supportive of the hospital for years, and we really could not provide the service that we can without their support and the community's support. The funds raised from the Crab Feast are going towards nursing scholarships for our staff, and they really appreciate that as well. So thanks to the Glen Burnie Rotary Club, they do a great job.
Great. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Olskamp. I know you have a very busy schedule, and you're always out in the community and everything. How can folks out there, if they're whether individual residents or organizations, get involved in helping you all out?
Well, I'll probably put in a plug for the Glen Burnie Rotary Club. Their involvement there is very helpful. And then we have other volunteer opportunities at the hospital. They can just contact the hospital. We really appreciate the support of the community.
Great. Thank you so much, Mrs. Olskamp, for your leadership here. And I'll jump over to the President. Kathy, how are you doing, Madam President?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Great. And could you tell the folks out there how they can buy tickets and where and when is the event for the Crab Feast?
Sure, I'd love to do that. They can see Ed DeGrange at the hospital here, or Danny, and we've got another chairman, Hank, who couldn't be here today. Their phone numbers are going to be provided to you later. And they've got tickets for only $50. You get tremendous food, great crabs. You got Gary Falls, a DJ, a silent auction with great sports memorabilia, some rare pieces, a 50-50 raffle, lots of fun, and most importantly, all the crabs you can eat, as many as you want. They just keep coming to the table, and lots of fun to go with that.
Great. And I've been to the ones in the past and taking a look at this flyer here. It's at Michael's 8th Avenue, it looks like. And could you use any more volunteers to help you all out there?
We love to have everybody come to Rotary functions. We'd love the whole community to come to any of our Rotary things and help out in serving. We do a lot of community service, and we're so delighted to be partnered for 40 years with the Baltimore Washington Medical Center and working on this $100,000 pledge right now to help you all out, and it's a great partnership. This whole group has been involved with it for a long time, and I'm just proud that we're able to help again this year.
Great. Well, I know how I have my tickets, and I'm ready to pig in some crabs and also help out the hospital. Ed, always good to see you, always out in the community working hard.
Mark.
Great. And anything you'd like to add as far as folks getting involved or helping the hospital or helping out the club?
Well, let me just say that this is the 40th annual Crab Feast. And I think over the years, over those 40 years, the Rotary Club has raised somewhere in the neighborhood of $350,000 to support hospital and hospital functions. So it's been very important to members of the community, members of the club, and of course the employees here. They also come and enjoy the event and look forward to it each year. And many of our vendors here at the hospital, they just step up and purchase tickets and participate as well as they do with many other hospital projects.
Great. Thank you very much, Ed, for all that you do at the hospital and throughout the entire community. And folks, all the folks back here, I know it's a strong backbone of community volunteers with the Rotary Club of Glen Burnie. So thanks a lot for all you do. And so, folks, you heard it. You know, there's a craft feast coming up on August 18th from 6 to 10 p.m. at Michael's 8th Avenue, and tickets are only $50, and it helps out to support the Baltimore Washington Medical Center. And if you need more information on that, you can call at 410-843-5000 or 410-760-2687. So just to wrap it up, let's give folks a little shout out there from the Rotary Club of Glen Burnie. All right, well, sounds great. Well, this is a great group of folks, and I just want to thank everyone for being on the show here, and we hope to see you out there. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Mark. That sounds like a lot of fun.
In this week's Recreation and Park Spotlight, Franklin Cheney talks with an inspiring speaker who's been visiting our camps to talk to kids about setting goals in life. Franklin.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at Olmsted Beach Summer Fun Center, and this summer it's been a great summer for our kids in Anne Arundel County. Today I have a special guest. With me today is Abby Sutherland. Abby, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Now, you are a very famous person. You attempted to sail around the world. Annapolis is the sailing capital of the world. You might not know that, but first of all, thank you for being out here today.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Now, you're providing a message to everyone and tell them about your story. Why don't you give our viewers here a little bit about yourself and the story you're going to give today?
Yeah, well, when I was 16 years old, I went out and tried to sail around the world. I was going to be the youngest girl to sail around the world alone. But, you know, unlike a lot of stories of success of people following a dream, my trip didn't end like we'd all planned on it ending. In fact, 4 months into my trip, my boat was wrecked and I had to be rescued from one of the most remote places on Earth. And so I think because my story is so different, it's a different type of message to kids, you know, that the unexpected happens and that, you know, whatever they do in life, they're going to get hit by their own rogue wave. But it shows them that, you know, they can take that, so they can take something that looks like a disaster and turn it into something great. And so, you know, it's a message to follow your dreams and to know that, you know, you're going to go through tough times, but to keep pressing on and, you know, that success, it's not a final destination, but it's every step you take when you're following a dream. So that's...
Well, you are so well spoken. It's a great story. Now, what do you do with yourself now? And you're not much older than 16. Tell us about what you do with yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm 17 now. So I just got my driver's license, so I can check that one off the list. I finished high school, so that one's off the list too. So I decided to learn to fly now. So we'll see where that goes.
Well, again, appreciate you coming out. Guys, we have a lot going on here at the summer. Abby providing the kids here at Olmsted Beach a great lesson. So for Franklin Cheney reporting for Week in Review, guys, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Franklin. You never know what heights these kids will soar to, and sometimes it takes just a little good advice to guide them along.
And finally, speaking of soaring to new heights, we will be seeing some changes to planes flying overhead late at night and for the next several weeks. BWI Airport has announced that they are paving some of their runways, and the projects will change flight patterns through August and September for commercial flights. That means that the areas of Linthicum, Lyndale, Severn, and Arundel Mills might see some increased activity overhead. Of course, some of you who are used to the aviation traffic might see a little less during this period. BWI officials say commercial flights are very limited late at night, so they hope to see a minimal effect on residents.
That's pretty interesting. You know, I tell you, living in Pasadena, as we both do, I see a lot of planes. We get a lot of air traffic flying over our heads.
It's pretty high, though. I mean, it's not as low as it is in some places, because I used to live in Severn, and it's really low in Severn. Yeah.
But I tell you one thing about that I've noticed. I've done a couple airline trips in the last couple months here, and the flights are full. I mean, they're really booking these flights. I mean, I remember 5-6 years ago, you could get on a plane and not quite half empty, but you could have a lot of empty seats. They are really booking them.
Yeah, you don't see that too often anymore, and hopefully Congress will work out the funding for the FAA because they're shut down right now, and we're losing a lot of revenue.
Losing a lot of taxes on airline tickets. So
yeah, so hopefully they'll get that all worked out.
That's right.
Soon.
They will. They get everything worked out in Washington. It just takes a long time, Tracy. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can certainly watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and YouTube. You can subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you next time.